Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 16th of February 2024. So small caps squeeze the pre-CPI highs on dismal data. Bonds, oil and gold all bounce. So there you go. Bad news is good news. And as it just said there, pre-CPI highs on dismal data. So if you want proof that, again, these markets are completely disconnected from reality, there's your answer there. US stocks gained in softer yield environment following a data deluge, which we saw yesterday. And again, here's that same thing. UK enters recession after steeper than expected fall in GDP. And what did the markets do? The markets moved higher. We'll look at that in more detail when we get to the DAX 2-minute chart. Economic news today, let's just have a quick scan through, see what we've got. There's retail sales from the UK, core PPI and PPI month-on-month, building permits, and there's a bit more at 10 minutes past 2. Barr's going to be speaking, never heard of either her or him. 3 p.m. prelim UOM, and again we've got mid-impact, one of those as well. And then we go to FOMC daily, and Pill is going to be speaking as well. Not heard of this member either. So sending out the Z-list Fed members once more to keep the markets buoyant. It's Friday. They like to move the markets up on a Friday. Have a nice weekend, knowing full well that the portfolios have gained another few percent. So we'll see what happens. But first off, let's have a look at the markets for yesterday and kick off with the Dow. So in the Dow, the market moving up once more towards the 89.78 level, just stuck in between there at the moment, down slightly overnight. As I said in the alert on Wednesday morning, the markets are going to come back to the all-time highs, and they're doing a damn good job of it. As can be seen there, it's not going to take long. But the one thing that I will say, having had a big shakeout like this, you really have to pay attention to the 89% retracement, because that can be an area where a correction can start from. So for me, I would imagine that the markets are going to move and continue to get to that 40,000. Otherwise, I'd be really wary of this area. But again, we'll see what happens during today. Yesterday, in the electronic session and the mid-morning of the UK, the market sideways, 2:30, off we go, never stopped. All the way back up, as I mentioned in yesterday's alerts. Massive move to the upside. Overnight, the markets are sideways, finding support at this BRN, which is 38,700, this red line here. That's where the market's holding at the moment. It needs to do that if it's got any chance of getting back to the 38,929. It's done really well over the last couple of days. The market has managed to recover by, let's just draw that across there, a total of 783 points. So it will take a lot in the Dow to actually move back to the upside. Let's have a look at the DAX. And yesterday we see the German DAX move up and make a new all-time high, 17,120. And it did this purely on this news here. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And off it went all the way up. Carried on through the day. But first, if we look at a smaller time frame, we had the market move higher. It then traded sideways, had a shakeout, and then followed the Dow. So not as strong as the Dow, but certainly trading higher in the slipstream of the US markets at the moment, up to the close of yesterday on the overnight, and just needs to take out the high. Again, we've got more news today. It'll probably be bad, but they'll convert it into good news or interpret it as such, and then the markets will move higher. But yesterday we did have a bit of a shakeout at the sort of an hour before the Dow opened, but we soon, like I say, caught the tailwind of the Dow and moved higher. In the S&P 500, which is this one, the market continues to move higher. Again, we're at the 89%, crucial area for this market. You want to see this type of activity drive through the resistance to the left, and then hopefully it'll be free to continue higher. 30-minute market sideways, choppy at the open with all of the news yesterday at 1:30. Market then managing to find direction and moving higher. Need to take out yesterday's high in order to keep this bull market moving to the upside. Meanwhile, the FT100 also on bad news, moved higher during yesterday and overnight continues to move on the fact that the UK is now in recession. Madness, isn't it? But that's how it works. So yesterday, market responds with a sell-off to begin with, down to the close, down to the 50 EMA and the 200 moving average, and then it's back up, and overnight the market back up. But I think that's going to probably struggle there. You might see the high of today already having been created on the overnight market there. Back to the daily charts, just a quick look, you need to watch out for 7654 and 7681, as these will be areas of resistance should the market move higher during today. In the US dollar, down sharply yesterday, as the market says, well, maybe there's not going to be, we're going back to the narrative again, aren't we? We're swinging back that we could get a rate cut in February. As I said, these news items are used during the days to dictate the direction, either to create shakeouts or to move the markets in the way that they want them moved. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Confirmation of this with the dollar moving lower, that means that any rate rises off the table. They're now trying to switch back to the dovish side of things. And in silver, market moving higher, nearly double topping there, which you can see yesterday. White's been allowed to move higher. Well, again, if they're going to go back to the dovish side, then the metals are going to move higher. Good move yesterday. It'd be nice to see many, many days of this and $2 and $3 rises to get to the price it should be. But that's not going to happen for some time. Market up to the close, just needs to get back above the high there. In the gold market, not performing as well, which you can see there, still coming off that 89 compared to silver. Let's just remind you what you've just seen. Big move in silver and not so big in gold. 30-minute charts still moving to the upside, volatile with the release of the economic news. Up back after the news, and then overnight the market finding support at the close there. Quick look at the gold-silver ratio. And you'll see this is down because of the move that silver made yesterday compared to gold. Not getting to the 92 at the moment. I don't mind being wrong. If silver wants to go up, that's fine by me. So the gold-silver ratio making its way down there. But again, don't hold your breath. It can soon swing back round to the other way. Let's have a quick look at yesterday's trading session in a bit more detail. And have a look at the German DAX 2-minute. So yesterday morning we saw the release of the GDP numbers, the market moving higher to begin with, as you can see there, and then making its way back as the market then opened for the cash, as you can see, straight up off the close of the previous day. 200 MA there in the 2 minutes. It was going to be a move back to the upside if they could do it, and that's exactly what they did. So bad news, market up. And if we just wind this back a bit here, you can see they're putting in a new all-time high of in this market. Prices then coming back, and unfortunately the long is taken out. They bring the market back to the 50 EMA, and then the market then starts to move back to the upside. So we're just an unfortunate situation there of bringing the market back. Like I say, the long side is the best side, but they wanted to have the shakeout there and then bring the market back above the 50 EMA. You can see they had intentions of doing so because the market was sideways and not dropping anymore. Closed back, market moving to the upside there. And then sideways for the remainder of the morning, sideways to lower. We had that move to the downside before, after the economic news that came out at 1:30. You can see there the market's reaction to the news. Moving back down towards the high of Wednesday before then starting to move to the upside. And unfortunately we didn't get a signal because the market just took off with the Dow. We do have a potential short, but of course that's counter to where the Dow was actually moving. So this too ended in a loss up to the 200 MA. And then once you've broken through this area, if you can, the market should continue to move higher. But of course it ran into the R1, which stopped the party, the market coming down and going back to 89% retracement. Bit of a pullback there going on in the market, and sideways after the 4 p.m. cutoff, and then eventually getting back through that 200 MA, which you can see there, and moving higher. But now we're into past 4, and price is just continuing to follow the Dow there. In the overnight market, let's have a quick look at that. That's the daily. We've already looked at the analysis of that. 17,120. The 2-minute chart, you can see sideways at the moment, not doing a great deal, and just needs to get back above the close. It's stuck in a sideways range at the moment. It's Friday. A bit of news, a trio of Fed members, but that's going to affect the Dow more than the DAX, which will be on the electronic trading session by then. The high's not too far away, 17,120. Keep an eye on this number during today. Okay, that's it for this one and for this week. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in Monday's edition. And as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.